hello.
Okay, are we on now?
We are on. All right.
We're live.
Give it away to you. Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. Well, this is going to be our first shot at just basically streaming live all the weird shit that we do internally. So, this purpose of this session is to kind of go through our roadmap and start kind of just talking through general priorities, overall coordination and planning for our upcoming launches, and kind of talking through basically what's on the docket. We have a ton of ideas and features and stuff that we've lined up over the past. So this is going to be our venue for us to kind of go through what's like on the broader backlog and make sure we end up prioritizing some key features that are in our periphery, but not yet kind of slated for launch. So yeah, I think we'll just kind of go through that and tackle some questions. But Nico, I want to get your take here. Are we like missing half our team right now? Because there's only 5 of us here. And I imagine we're going to want some engineering and design too. You know where we're at?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether people got the link from Discord, so we should probably just ping some more people in there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to share the link maybe on Slack and have some of them join in from that link.
Yeah, I think post the StreamYard link into Slack and
let me go for it.
Yeah. I mean, a big piece of this is just making sure that our team can actually execute on some of the short-term targets that we've got. And by the way, can you guys see my screen okay? Is that showing up correctly? I don't even know what this looks like on YouTube.
No, you can only see your icon for the moment, not your screen.
Oh, for real? Damn. Okay, let me stop screen. Let me share again. How about now? Is that coming through?
No, make sure you're sharing from within StreamYard.
Yeah, I am sharing in StreamYard. Let me try something different here. I'm going to share my entire screen. How about that? C'est bon? Ça marche?
Same thing.
Ça marche pas.
Damn it. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I can do I have to be like logged into StreamYard to do that? I don't think so.
No, it shouldn't have to be.
Crap. Okay, how about now? No, nothing?
Wait.
There.
Okay, cool. I think I see it now. All right, so is this what it looks like on YouTube? Let me see that link here. If that's coming through okay. And in the meantime, I'm hoping people are going to be able to stroll in. Oh, good. Yes, people can see my screen. All right, great. All right, well, cool. We're seeing the comments coming through YouTube as well. All right, great. This is semi-working, which is super nice. And I guess while we're still gathering up some other team members, Paco, you mentioned we're going to try and get a POAP running and working for this session. Is that right?
I'm cooking it right now.
Okay, and then
so later.
And then is there a planned drop for the happy hour as well, or?
No.
Is that a Leyline NFT?
We should not reward alcoholism. So I don't
or happiness.
So we have to pick our battles. Would you like to have it for the happy hour, maybe?
I don't know. Well, because we were doing the Discord drops during happy hours in the past, and I figured that would still continue. But
yeah, let's do for the happy hour then.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, if we're gonna do a POAP I think, guys, what we'll probably end up doing is we'll do these roadmap reviews and working sessions on a fairly regular basis. I don't know how often. Nico, it really kind of depends on what your call is. We could do it potentially weekly or every other week. And it could be another venue for the DAO, which we could drop POAPs. So ways people could participate and observe and see what's going on. And really, I'd love for anybody in a DAO and any co-owner to basically say, or to make recommendations or thoughts on, hey, is this the right priority? Hey, when are we going to do these features? We could totally answer those questions. And everybody on the live chat, for sure, feel free to post whatever comments you have as we kind of talk through these things. All right. So, Nico, shall we begin or wait for an engineer to show up?
Can you actually see who is watching on YouTube?
We just know the number of people and then whoever's done a comment. Because
I think we might have some people there, but we don't know. At least I cannot see it. And the problem with StreamYard version we use, we can only be 6, right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jeff.
Okay. You've got Robert and Josh, Henry, Nate Wazan, that are also on this line. I can bring them up to the stage. When we're ready.
Everybody that's logged into this should be on stage.
Okay. We can only do 6 right now. We'll adjust that for next week. So I'm going to remove myself from the stream right now and add in.
I see.
Cool.
I see. Okay,
yep.
Got it.
So next week we can do 10, 15. That's fine.
Okay.
Right now we're on the trial.
Okay. Yeah, let's make sure we got design and engineering up on stage. And is Jonathan here too? Hello, Josh. Hey, Robert.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
All right. Okay, good. We got UX and design represented pretty heavily, but I do think it'd be good to have Jonathan.
I pinged Jonathan, but doesn't seem to be here.
Okay. I know he's got some family things to take care of. Okay, Mikhail's here? Or is it Michael Chen? All right, we're over indexed on UX. All right, it's gonna be a UX focused roadmap walkthrough. All right, anyway.
Feel free to take me off stage if like engineering shows up too. Because,
okay.
They know a lot more than I do. I just started.
All good. Thank you, Henry. Yeah, so if engineers show up, ping Jeff on Slack to request to pop in. All right, guys, I guess we'll just get started. And so, yeah, Nico, I think let's roll right in. So, yeah, big focus for this week and next week. The end of next week, our plan is to do our 500 Genesis Pog pack drop. So we have kind of put together our main launch checklist in terms of all the smart contract development work we've got to clean up. So Patrick Ossip and Andrew are working on those pieces. Jonathan's got a bunch of work on a back end to square away. Robert and Mikhail, how are we doing on the front end side? What's your read on what's left to do here? Are these like tasks accurate and up to date, or are there other pieces missing here?
We suppose on the front-end side work on the flow for the drop. Yesterday we had a review on the UX side for a few views. Christine have to provide the copy. I have to give her like the new mockups. So I think from Monday, like the front end will work on the few view for the drop. It's just like 2-3 view. It will be not too much effort to work on.
Okay, so we're aiming for this on Monday to go live.
I don't think it will go Monday live. I have more Wednesday, let's say.
Wednesday, okay.
And they also integrate the MetaMask button on the header. And that's it. I think that is on production or on staging.
Okay. All right. So I think we aim for January 19 to deploy those different key pieces there. Okay, great. Anything else you guys might need on your end, or are you feeling pretty good, confident?
Also, I pin you on Slack. I don't know if you answered, but we need like a small roadmap for the homepage, like just few key timeline.
Yep. I plugged in both the link to this page as well as some key blurbs you can do on that thread. So
Okay.
I think we should be good to go there.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, cool. And then there's all the marketing communications we got to do and lining up. So partly what we're aiming to have play out next week on Wednesday. So Pat, Asif, Andrew will do the actual smart contract deployment on Wednesday evening. So we do have our, DAO blockchain engineering sync Wednesday evenings PST. So we're gonna basically just do that live together, and I think we'll even just stream it. So we'll kind of turn it into a bit of a deploy day event. So Leia, heads up, I think we could probably do another stream there. And actually, that engineering sync is pretty cool. We go pretty hardcore into Web3 and philosophical debates about what we're implementing. So I think there might be some good content there. So I think we'll aim to do our soft launch on Wednesday and have the smart contracts in place, and then plan to go live with the drop itself on Friday, the 21st. So I think that's kind of the rough outline, short term. Any big questions for at least big focus for this week and next week, making sure that drop goes well?
Hey, just really quick, I'm going to drop a couple people while we're on the trial version. If you guys could go over and jump on the YouTube channel, I'll make sure everybody's questions get back here, but we want to make sure Jonathan gets in. So I'm going to probably remove some people that are not on stage. So Nate, Henry, Paco, and Jamie. Okay.
Is it that Jamie, you mentioned that someone's saying it's not clear. Oh, I see it on the YouTube comments. What exactly isn't clear? Is it my screen, or is it our audio? Okay, anyway, let me know. Keep me posted in the YouTube comments. I'll take a look, and I'll try to zoom in. I mean, zooming in kind of sucks because we can't see all the details. Okay, anyway, so after we get through the NFT drop, the next major piece, we're actually going to be going live with the Discourse launch. So Discourse is basically a forum like management tool where we can actually submit a lot of our early proposals for discussion, and people can actually have robust threads to discuss any governance proposals that we're going to get submitted. This is a third-party tool. It's heading up. Philip is kind of driving that initial setup and getting us in place. Wanted to ask if what's remaining on this one. Is Shahul the one working on deploying this? And Nico, are you actually doing deploy to the website for this? And then when?
Well, yeah. If you actually open the topic, there is just a list of things that we need to do first, and I mean we need to really set up an account, the subscription first, mm-hmm. And then we will get the actual domain name with Discourse, and we just need to then add it to the site.
I think Shaul already signed up. I've set up the domain. It's connected, but then haven't followed up on it afterwards. It's like discord.proofofgood.io. I think we have it set to.
Yeah, I think that should work. So who's going to pull the trigger on this one?
So we can add it then if everything has been set up. We can just add that as a new tab on the header.
Okay, sweet. So what's a good time frame for us is I think we can actually do this much sooner than February, right? Because there's not much.
No, we
blocking.
we can do that already. The only thing is there any initial setup to do on Discourse, like some organization categories, some content to add?
I think so, and I think Philip will kind of take the first stab at organizing because he's been kind of modeling out a lot of the the governance process. So I think he'll be the main guy to sync up with there.
Okay, so adding the link on the header as a tab, I can do that today.
All right, lovely. Look at that speed. Thank you, Nico. All right, cool. So that means that for our next DAO Hall on Wednesday, we'll be able to operate off of Discourse for some of those early proposals. Okay, beautiful. Love it. All right, so on February 1st, we have our smart contract security audit scheduled with BT Block. So I think we pushed it out just to make sure we've got more meaty smart contracts to review, because mainly the NFT contract is pretty straightforward, so there's unlikely to be any kind of risk there. It's more about the governance tools that we build, plus like whatever work we've done on the ledger so far. And yeah, I think we've already got that scheduled. And Pat's on point for that, but Nico, do you want to be like a point of contact for this one as well?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Is there any, I think I saw in some of the discussion a kickoff call being set up with BT Block. Did that happen already? I didn't join.
Yeah, I think we scheduled it for Feb 1st now. So I should be hopefully on our calendar. If not, I'll make sure that you're added onto that one.
Okay.
All right. And my apologies. I actually skipped a couple items here. Paco, we do have 2 pieces we want to make sure are lined up for next week. The Genesis collection on OpenSea. Are we good to go on that piece?
We have blocked. Oh, I am. Wait a minute.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we gotcha.
So I did some of those changes we discussed last week in order to go live, having the blue tick with the verified status on OpenSea. The only loose end for me now is just to be sure that it's okay to pre-mint what we want directly there, so that as people is getting the collection, they appear where we want it to appear on our profile. That there is, yeah. Right now.
All right. Okay, awesome. Nice. We got the check mark. That's pretty fucking badass.
What about these dashes and underscores? Can that be changed to just like Proof of Good DAO?
We can't.
Okay.
This is the limitations. The main barriers are, you have to enter those. And secondly, it's in occasions while you're writing it, you find that there are any other collection with a similar name, and it's not like very straightforward to say it out.
We do it a little bit more like consistent like this, where it's just all caps with dashes. Maybe that aesthetically could be a little bit.
Yeah, it's editable. We can edit it.
Yeah, we can edit it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Paco. This is great. And then, Jonathan, do you guys need like anything specific to just make sure that when we mint all the 500 NFTs are showing up here correctly? How's it going to play out?
I'm not really. What are they expecting? They just need the contract address, right, before they can. And then once everything is pre-minted, then they'll be able to display the items. We have to load all the assets up onto the IPFS, and then the contract will point to where to get the data. And I think, yeah. So once we start playing around with once we actually mint it onto this is on Polygon, right? So the main net, I think it should show up here. I think that's what we did for Clayton.
Okay. Yeah, I think. Well, either way, I think Paco is your guy to coordinate here to figure out how we get this rendered. I imagine there's some kind of settings in the collection to point to the correct smart contract address.
I'm not sure it's right in the collection setup. That's like the main profile, but we have to investigate about it. Luckily, everything that is going to be on the Ethereum blockchain or on Matic is going to be popping up there. So it's not you don't, unlike Clayton, you don't need a different profile or anything. So it should be easier.
All right, sounds good. But yeah, I think let's aim to have that good to go on Friday. Looking pretty good there. Thanks for that. And then you also mentioned we've got 2 rarity tool sites will probably spin up, Rarity Sniffer and Sniper.
Yeah, I also need the smart contract address and some other minor information so that I can start listing the collection on Rarity Sniffer and Rarity Sniper, and then we can later go and also list it on Rarity Tools.
Okay, all right, fantastic.
This is something we can do already. We don't have to wait until the collection is released. Although, of course, it's good to have, like the release date and everything.
Yeah, I think we'll need to have the contracts deployed first on Wednesday. And then I think once those are live, let's see if we can. But yeah, feel free to progress if there's nothing blocking you. That's awesome.
Let's go for it.
And just one thing on that one. I remember in a past discussion that we said we'll need to provide an API to OpenSea or provide them with some data once we have the collection ready and we have loaded everything in the database. Then we just need to provide OpenSea with.
We're not doing the API route. What we're doing is we're just gonna upload the metadata into the IPFS and point to where it is.
Oh, okay. So we can manage that all on our end. OpenSea don't really need to get involved with that, right?
I believe so. But when you say upload the IPF and point to it, what does point to it mean?
As in the contract will have the base token URI, which is the base path for the directory where the assets will be on the IPFS. So we're using Pinata, which kind of pins it to an IPFS directory, and then all the assets will be numbered based on their token ID. So on the contract, it'll be like token ID, and it'll append that to the base path, and then right there by the base, the address, it'll point to the metadata.
And then, to make it like it just in simpler terms, what would Paco need to do on OpenSea to do that? Does he just have to, copy and paste an address into the settings?
No, nothing. It's on the contract itself. I think OpenSea will look at the contract. It'll take this base token URI.
Got it. Okay. All right. So let's cross our fingers and hope it all magically happens.
Let's sync up later, Joe, and do a test or something, just for the fun of it.
Okay, yeah. If that doesn't work, I have built like an API anyways, just to grab the data. So if it doesn't work that way, then we have a backup.
All right. Okay, sounds good. Hey, actually, there is something I also realize, and Robert, maybe this one might be more appropriate, which is once the OpenSea collection is actually live, I think we should probably have the button here to say, hey, do you want to buy a Genesis pack? The collection is live on OpenSea now, and linking to that collection. What do you think? Robert, you there?
She likes it.
But yeah, it might be a good one to plug into.
Sorry, Robert is here. Robert, you're on. But we only have 6 people on at a time, so I'm switching backstage and front stage today.
Okay.
So just call people out by name, and I will unmute them. The other people on the channel, just for your reference, are Michael Belhat, Andrew Levy, right? You got Josh and Nico. So I'm happy to bring people on stage. Just if you need something from anyone specific, if they're here, I'll bring them on and bring other people out. Cool.
Cool. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Yep. Oh, there's a question also, I don't know if you see, from Hans that came from, I believe, Discord. Is the wallet owner of the collection also in the process of verification?
Yes. Well, because like we have this, actually, maybe Paco, you can speak to that better in terms of how our owner and in the collections have been verified by OpenSea.
In our case,
it's
actually, yeah, it's different. In this case, we have, let's say, bent the rules a little bit to ensure that we can take advantage of the fact we have been verified as our profile has been verified once. And then ideally, we'll be also be getting the verification on the collection later on. That normally you don't get this unless you already have traded around 100 Ethereum. So we're going, I guess, Jeremy, you I guess you will try to use your diplomacy with Polygon and OpenSea, so maybe we can do this in a faster way.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. We'll get to the verifications over time, and yeah, something for later as we get live. Good question, Hans. And actually, yeah, Hans, I see another question pop in.
Yes.
In OpenSea, will the team take royalties per sale? If yes, what percent? Yeah, our target right now, I believe, is 2% royalties on each NFT secondary sale, whether it's OpenSea or another platform. And the 2% is going to go straight to the DAO treasury. So the whole purpose is to fund the DAO, and it's not specifically for the team. And the way that'll play out, actually, I'll even put up another visual on screen here. Give me a second. That's not it. Okay. Are you guys seeing the screen? Oh no, I have to drag it over. Okay. Let me give you guys a visual. All right, can you see this? So this is a preview of like our tokenomics and like how this will theoretically work. But essentially, our DAO treasury is going to be receiving revenue from our NFT sales, royalties, treasury yields, mystery box. And the way we dole it out is actually approved by the DAO in that budget. The team is actually going to be allocated 20% as it continues to grow to like operate the product and the operations. 20% will be dedicated to our oracles through our charity fund. 10% to ecosystem development, 30% to the community and airdrops, and then 10% to volunteers rewards, and then 10% to generate yield for the treasury. So hopefully that answers your question, Hans. We're going to go into this in much more detail, I think, at an upcoming DAO Hall, all the tokenomics and whatnot. Okay, but back to the roadmap. All right, so after we get through the security audit, so the next big feature we're going to push is actually going to be our governance tools. So we're in the process of actually forking the Nouns DAO smart contracts. I mean, it's kind of the baseline for a lot of things here. But what we should be expecting is a very similar type of UI as Nouns. So if you go to like Nouns DAO, you know, as a PoG DAO member, you'll be able to create your proposal. You'll be able to view existing proposals and then actually vote on them. And what we want to do is make sure that we're adhering to the rules that we set up on the white paper. So specifically, you can pull up the white paper. The mechanisms for voting are going to be based off of the NFTs that you own, the POG packs. So if you go into our governance specifications and you go to voting, you'll see that one POG pack will equal one vote. In the future, we're going to continue to expand how you can get more votes. So, you know, the concept is that we want to be able to level up your POG packs by spending good points on them. And you hit level 5, you get 2 votes. You hit level 10, you get 3 votes. And we're going to have a bunch of other perks too. We just don't need to design out the system. And then when we drop our Pog tokens, you'd be able to acquire 1 additional vote maximum per proposal. So I think there's going to be a number of ways that we continue to expand, POG members' influence over votes, and we want to make sure we kind of tie it back to reputation and social impact. Any questions here about how we want to approach this or the timing behind it, etc.? I'd love if Philip could comment on it, but he's not here at the moment. I think he's a big person kind of driving this. Yeah, any questions? No? All good? Super clear?
Yeah, Jeremy, I might have one actually. I remember originally when we talked about governance, we're mentioning the same models as nouns and the early start governance. Is this still something is there any special meaning around this early? I think it was called early start governance, right? I would just remember this.
Yeah, I mean, part of that philosophy was this here, governance slow start.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Slow start.
Yeah, so one of the main functions is the DAO core team will have special veto rights. Potentially, this could go into the Genesis pack owners, maybe over time, but I think for now, we'll probably need to reserve veto rights just for the core team. And I think what we want to do is basically continue to grow the DAO members to the point that we have kind of critical mass, and then we're feeling quite safe that, hey, no specific bad actor could come in, sweep the floor, and then put in some crazy proposals and vote themselves like all power in the universe. I think we want to make sure we kind of prevent that, or at least have veto power in the event that it could happen. And we'll need to evaluate the state of our membership and understand, okay, there's like very wide distribution. We're quite decentralized now. Let's actually remove the core DAO core team's veto rights. This could take anywhere from like 6 to 12 months or many years. We have no idea, but we'll have to just observe. And I guess I'll just make sure that we're paying attention to this and eventually getting rid of all of our power.
Yeah,
or at least
getting
rid of centralized power. All right. Okay. So that's going to be a big move, having the governance tools in place, and that's where the rubber starts to hit the road, because at that point we're going to be seeing much more proposals come in for the community to actually genuinely plug in their votes, where we start to onboard oracles and approve them, or make modifications to the white paper in any fashion that we want. This is like really foundational to like making the really kickstarting the DAO or putting it into high gear. So the next milestone after that, actually, can anybody talk to this target date here? Does that seem realistic? I'm hoping it'll happen sooner than that, but I think this is the play it safe date. Any thoughts, Nico? And actually, Robert, interested as well, your take on what we'll be doing on a front end to launch that UI. Any questions or concerns there, or suggestions?
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you, Robert.
Yeah, no concern, but I already have like some idea to for the display for the governance. So I think we'll have like new tabs, new maybe assignment new for that, and because our website is light at the moment, it would be easy to fit new feature on it. So
Okay, sweet.
Clear for me.
All right, fantastic. And then do we need mock-ups for this as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we need mock-up, yeah.
All right. Is that going to be you or another team member?
It can be me and any Joshua or Michael Shen to work, yeah.
All right.
It can be me, yeah. I'm happy to work on that, because after the drop, I think we can work on that directly.
Okay, cool. And as we go further down the roadmap, Josh, Michael, feel free to, raise your hand if there's something you want to jump onto, because we're going to be moving into unknown territory and design territory. So after we get the governance in place, then the big focus is, okay, we're going to build this fucking proof of good ledger and the entire protocol, and we're going to go for our minimal viable product. So in this ticket, I've put in just the base use cases that we want to kind of prove out that we can have functioning. So yeah, this MVP, I think our target is to try to get our first 2 POG oracles onboarded. So at this week's DAO Hall, we basically, kind of voted in and said, yeah, let's have Leyline as one of the first oracles as our first prototype. But what I'd like to recommend is Angel Protocol, one of our other partners, because they've got a lot of their APIs like pretty much ready to go. So I think that might be quite an easy integration because they just have to set up their API calls once we have the API in place. So yeah, basically I've lined up these kind of core use cases here, and mainly it's going to be functioning off of, you're going to be logging in with MetaMask onto the Proof of Good website. Once you've done that, you can actually start to, actually this is not necessarily going to be Boink. It's going to be Leyline. So what is interesting though is that Angel Protocol is using the Taro wallet for their decentralized, or for the IDs. So we do have some work to figure out how we manage IDs across different app platforms and projects. So there may be a critical, piece of figuring out the right decentralized ID solution. And this might be a key topic we have to address at the next engineering sync. Jonathan, I'm not sure if we've already got some thoughts here, because I know that Asip and Patrick have already been working on some of the Ledger smart contracts. I don't know if you have any commentary on if we've got to solve for how we're handling centralized ID or decentralized ID.
Yeah, I think we need some more investigation to this. But currently, I just have it tied to Google Auth with your wallet, and you can have several wallets for each account. And
so we have a Google login on proofofgood.io.
Yeah, there's when you do connect wallet, you still kind of have to iron out some bugs on it. But what it does is it creates a user for Proof of Good and ties the wallet to that user. Eventually, we'll have a feature to link email address, link other wallets, and all that. But yeah, currently every time you do connect wallet, it'll create a user for that wallet.
Got it. And it's mainly on our back end to just make sure we're organizing things correctly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, so there's probably a good chunk of work to do here when it comes to like managing Web3 identities. So, all right, we'll tackle that in engineering call. So, and Robert and all the UX and design folks, here's where this is going to start to get interesting, and why I'm very excited to see some of the work that Christine and Josh, you guys have done on the Ledger wireframes, or is it Henry, if you've been working on that. So one use case is, so as a volunteer, you want to be able to see all the donations that have been tracked on Proof of Good Ledger. And one of the concepts is that the Proof of Good Ledger, at its most basic form, is going to be something that kind of looks like Etherscan, where we'll have all of these individual records and attestations of good deeds. And theoretically, you should be able to just filter down to yours, or just have your own profile that associates each of those good deeds that have been verified. That's kind of the core concept in this use case here. And I don't know if you guys already like gone through or looked at the UX or wireframes on that. Gosh, is Henry still here? Maybe he could speak to that if he's been working on it. But while we're getting Henry on stage,
In the last UX UI meeting, we did. I mean, Christine and Henry were talking through it and showing the work they started.
Oh, great!
But yeah, it's still, it's still at brainstorming stage, and there are lots of good ideas, and I think very good start so far.
Okay, got it.
I see Robert say you can answer, so I don't know if you have anything to add. Oh, Robert is not on stage anymore.
Oh, she's not on stage.
Sorry, I'm adding Robert on stage. Henry is not in the room. I wanted to say Henry is not in the room. He's on over on YouTube. Okay, Robert is coming.
Hello. Thank you, Jacques. Nico will resume. Like the Christine and Andrew, they provide us some wireframe research, and they use Etherscan on their brainstorm. So I think we're going on the good way. I think Michael Chen will also talk with Christine and share the do good page. What we have done there, it's there is few stuff to reuse for the ledger. So I think we're going on the good way. Maybe I don't know their progress, but maybe next Thursday we have something to more finish. Maybe I don't know. So yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm very, very excited to take a look at that as things progress. So that's great news. Okay, cool. So then that's going to be a bit of the front end stuff, and I feel like that opens up a whole new world of additional like UI that we're probably going to want to build, like the profile sections, and leaderboards. A lot of things that we've already experimented with on Leyline. So those are going to be key things to start to consider how we want to prioritize in later stages. So back to some of the other key use cases here on the ledger. The next bit is making sure that there is an API available for the oracles to plug into. And, ideally, it's literally they just have an API call where they can feed in just those specific data points, which is basically here's the DID, the wallet address, the good points, the action, whatever metadata. I think we do need to kind of specify what exact data gets plugged into that API. But this is a key component to have in place. So any questions here or thoughts? Oh, go ahead. Is that Jonathan?
Oh, hey, Jeremy, it's Andrew. I just didn't know if you, I just jumped on a little while ago. I can speak to some of the smart contract stuff for this ledger because we do have a good start.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, would love. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, you can just kind of scroll up to number 1 again. We have most of this functionality in there. There's some more work to do about just verifying how we're exchanging things and then working with Jonathan on the front end. But as far as being able to show donations and leaderboards, we have a lot of that in there. Every time an entry goes into the Proof of Good ledger, which I think was further down on the list, that'll emit an event, and then we can track it by the user, we can track it by the organization, we can track it by the good type, and basically make it look any way that we want on the front end. But we have a good solid start on this. Have a little bit of work to do when you talk about the decentralized ID, but I know that there's some variables in there. But I think there's a little bit more on the tech side just to make sure that we're passing the right information. But we have a good start on this.
Lovely. Oh, that is so awesome to hear. Thank you so much. And any help or sticking points that you need, or we making? I mean, we'll aim for Wednesday or our consecutive Wednesdays to tackle them.
Yeah, no sticking points right now. I think the focus for Pat Ossip and myself is just on getting ready for the NFT launch. But then after that, we can get back into this. But like I said, we've got a good chunk done already. But then it's just getting the details right.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so yeah, voila. That's gonna be our first MVP release of the Pog ledger, and that end goal is basically, we want to at least start to demonstrate and show that, one, our users and members are starting to earn those good points. And then I think the next like thing beyond that is where do we actually start spending those good points? So if we move on from this and the ledger, this is a little bit of a placeholder. We're delaying going on to Rarity Tools mainly because there's like a big fee attached to it, so we're just gonna take our time on that one. So I just have a placeholder here. I'm thinking maybe, what do you think, Paco? Like late February to revisit that?
That seems reasonable. Yeah, because
Okay.
we'll be already. We could have done the release, fix potential glitches. Yeah, I think it's reasonable. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So after we've got the Proof of Good ledger and protocol live, then we move on to the daily auctions for the NFTs. And these are going to be for the elite NFTs. And again, like, our, guiding light here in our model is really Nouns DAO, Squid DAO, Olympus. And you could just see, again, the amount of Ethereum that these single NFTs are going for. This one here is, we got to make sure we fundamentally get this right. And a big piece of this is just making sure that we do have a lot of this buy-in from, big NFT whales, the people that have 50, 60, 70 Ethereum to just throw around and invest. So tentatively, we're earmarking this for end of February, but this date may need to shift depending on whether or not we have a lot of those key, whales lined up to support this. Because the last thing we want to do is like go live too early and, bidding on this like just ends up, falling flat. That'll kind of kill the model. So there's a lot of work to do on, one, us building up our community so we're getting critical mass. Two, having a lot of our smart contracts and NFTs and functionality deployed so there's like real activity and traction taking place. And then three, tons of partnerships and biz dev relationship building. We're connecting to a lot of these other communities and DAOs and building that kind of relationship. And ideally onboarding those DAOs as oracles. So there's actually really good synergy across those projects and ours. So that's like, this is a big, big piece here that's going to define a lot of the revenue model, but also the value of all the NFTs that all of you are going to own. So anyway, this is like a major piece here, moving to daily auctions. And we could segment this, I think, in two separate pieces. One is, let's just start the auctions for crypto. And at a later point, we also launch the auctions specifically for good points. So you can imagine that we'd potentially have two side by side, which is basically what we're stating here. It's like 2 POG packs every day for good, where noun says 1 noun every day forever. We just do it for good. And the concept is, we don't want to just restrict this only to super rich people. You want to be able to give these elite NFTs to people that don't have that initial access to financial capital, but they can earn it by doing good things in the real world and earning those good points and using that to bid on auction. So I think like a lot of our alpha testers will be at a nice advantage because they've been busting their ass earning good points on Leyline, and so they'll have a fresh batch of good points to start to bid some auctions. But these don't have to coincide. They could be totally separate dates. And anyway, just leaving that out there. There's still some work to do on nailing down the whole value proposition. I'll also say, tied to that value proposition, that is what we have written down in Notion, and I think it's also a public page. Let me just double check here. Can you guys see this okay? Is this coming?
It's loading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe my internet's a little slow here. Oh shoot, it's not public yet. Okay, but we'll include this in the white paper. And yeah, just as a refresher, the Genesis drop is the 500 packs. This is going to be like the biggest set of benefits. Then the elite ones are the daily auctions. and then there's a daily auctions for the good points set. So that's what this kind of refers back to. Okay, so after we get through Q1 and we've got all these like amazing features in place, then the big focus is we're going to launch the Pog token. There's going to be an ERC20 fungible token that's going to be real cash value, primarily used for governance. But we have a lot of different use cases. So I have a tokenomics paper that I think is almost ready to go. And we'll tee this up for a DAO Hall in the near future when I think it's ready. But we have kind of figured out the general economics model when it comes to how the ecosystem works, who the key players are, total supply, and then particularly the usage. So the POG tokens would be used for DAO governance. So right now, creating a proposal will be free for this like core group and maybe for certain members. But I think eventually as we expand, we'll probably want to put a bit of a POG token gate, maybe $1 worth or $5 worth to write a proposal, so we don't flood and spam with too many proposals. But we'd also use POG tokens for leveling up your NFTs alongside good packs. So we'll probably have incremental stages where you have to use a POG token to get to that final stage of leveling up your NFT. We would also be able to leverage POG tokens in opening up mystery boxes. So currently on Leyline, we do have our prize pool and mystery box, and I think we're going to continue to, really develop that. And here's the play. So right now you can open up a mystery box for 600 good points. We can actually introduce additional tiers that have like better prizes and rarity rates, or even just introduce a cost of POG tokens here. And we continue to actually drive in donations and sponsorships to the prize pool. So anybody can actually donate to the mystery box, earn good points, and then you can open up mystery boxes with good points and POG tokens. So that like creates this like very useful token sink, which will drive up the price of POG tokens, and then everybody that owns tokens will benefit. So that's another feature. And then we have our Pog Drops monthly rewards, both for Pog Oracles, but also for community members. So what we're aiming for is the first of every month, when the Pog tokens are live, we'll do an airdrop to every Pog pack owner, and it'll be proportional to the amount of good points that you've generated over time and what level your NFTs are. And then the final bit is you in order to qualify for the monthly airdrops, you have to stake the NFTs, and we'll have like a staking UI on our platform. So anyway, we're going to go through this in much more detail and debate and refine and update this, but that's essentially the kind of rundown on our tokenomics. So we're going to aim for June to make that live. I'm going to put the link here for the PRD for you guys. Yeah, any questions or thoughts or feedback here? And we can kind of close out with that last bit. All right, I probably melted everyone's brains at this point. Okay, but so I'm hoping that helps kind of clarify where our key focus is for the next couple months or so. And big theme here: get our NFTs in place, get our DAO governance tools in place, launch the POG protocol, and then get our auctions. Like that's like the big, meaty work for us to do over the next couple months. We are really starting to scale up the organization and interviewing our additional engineers to bring onto the team next week. So my hope is we're going to start to accelerate a lot of this development, or at least like make sure we hit these dates correctly. But yeah, I think that's it for now. And unless there's any other questions, we could probably call it a wrap.
Did you say a wrap? Are you going to wrap now?
Call it a wrap. Yeah, that's a terrible way to phrase it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting spoiled
Yeah.
with all the
All
music
right.
performances.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Nico, any closing thoughts? Final questions?
I was going to say something, but we probably don't need to extend now. I'm just thinking about one thing we discussed in the previous DAO, which was around the leyline good points versus the proof of good ledger that we are building. So I think we'll just need to think about what we're going to do there, because I suppose that a lot of people have been part of Leyline so far might be interested in knowing what those points will happen. So just one thing we'll probably need to stick somewhere on the roadmap and consider what
yeah,
to do.
you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. The whole like transition or the porting over, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
First
Okay.
decide what we do and then stick it in the roadmap based on what we're doing there. And yeah, apart from that, everything looks great and exciting.
I think the general approach that we're probably going to take is to load those good points into the proof of good like ledger, and then make calls to get that data from the blockchain itself and then mirror it in our backend.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think to Nico's point, it's just like we should probably plug in a slot of when we do that actual migration work. And I'm guessing it'll be mid-late February once the ledger is live. It might be one of the first tasks that we do in order to actually make Leyline a proper POG Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. We can plug that in. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for popping into the stream. Appreciate you spying on us. And feel free to give any feedback you like. Post on Discord. This is a grand experiment on radical transparency, and open up the robes and here it all is. This is how we roll, and we're gonna do this thing. It's gonna be a good year, guys. Okay, catch y'all later. Have a good one.
All right, thanks guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.